Okay. Well, and now my first question. Okay. What goods are manufactured in your country?
Maybe rice.
Rice
Yes.
is manufactured?
Oh, no, no, no. I don't know. I think car.
You think car. Okay. And just this, one word answer, do you think it's appropriate to give just one word to answer this kind of questions? This is
Uh,
IELTS, so
uh,
what you say?
it's like teacher. It's like I need to answer like speaking
Of
in IELTS or
course, yes. Of course, yes.
okay. As far as I know, in my country, like we are.
May I ask you 1 minute, please? I'm sorry, just 1 minute, then we
Yeah.
can keep going. Just 1 minute, sorry. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, so let's talk about the goods that are manufactured in your country. So, and
Um, as far as I know, like I didn't do a survey on what goods that our country manufacture, but in my opinion, we usually like manufacture car or something in technology like computer phones
well,
and yes.
so just there is a point here that you need to pay attention. So when you say I didn't do any survey, okay, so you need to give an exact time. So when you don't want to mention the time, you say I haven't. I haven't done, so you need to use present perfect. Okay, when you're talking about time in the past, when, no matter. So here you use present perfect. Okay, and let me ask another question. Okay, of course you don't know, just do you think manufacturing is increasing or decreasing in your country, of course?
As what my geography teacher has told me, like we are in like in the group of developing country, so definitely the manufacturing will increase. Yes.
Excellent, very good. Okay, I do agree with you. When you are actually one of developing countries, so of course manufacturing is can be considered as increasing. So very good, good answer. What goods are imported or exported? Do you have any idea something that actually exported to other countries or imported from
Yeah,
other countries to your country?
I think as export, because we are very rich about rice and in industrial goods, so we the so goods that we most of goods that we export is industrial goods. Yeah.
So yeah, of course. So food and ingredients maybe. And how does the compare with imports and exports in the past? How does this compare with actually import, export in the past? So do you have any idea about, of course, you said that, this process is an increasing process, so it's okay. But if you want to compare, so
mm, I think that's in the past, but I don't know in the past what goods that we export, teacher.
Of course. So okay, you don't know and you can give your answer, just make your answer. So actually, I haven't thought about it before, so nothing springs to my mind. My knowledge is not enough. My information is not enough to answer this question. So that actually, I think I can't compare, past and present very carefully and accurately. So just this is your answer. Okay, I want you to make your answer, not, exactly answer my question. So it's okay. Of course, you don't have any information about it. So just try to make your answer, okay?
Yes.
Because there is a point here, you need to pay attention, pay careful attention that maybe in your IELTS test, one question, two questions actually will be asked that you haven't actually thought about them before. So of course you need to make your answer. So when you have nothing to say, how to manage, how to react, what you say. Okay, so that's really important. So it's something like it's a crucial, maybe a point, it's a crucial situation. Oh, I have no idea about this question. I haven't thought about it before, but I need to answer because this is my IELTS test and I don't want to lose my score. So just try to say something. Try to use the idioms, maybe phrasals, and something that I taught you before to make, okay? Wow. I'm not going to focus on speaking now, so it's okay. No matter the speaking section, we would talk about this one in details just. Okay, well, so we have some industries and we're going to match actually the terms with their definitions. So can you guess the definition of these actual industry? For example, what indicates the heavy industry?
Heavy industry. I think that C. Manufacturing large articles or materials such as ships or steel.
Just there is actually something that you need to pay attention. The purpose of having this type of task and learning this actually phrases is to use them. So for example, in writing section, if you're going to write about this topic, please use these phrases. So because you need to use synonyms, paraphrases, in avoid of actually repetition. So it's good to learn the terms and of course the meaning, synonyms. The second one is cottage industry. So do you have any idea about this?
I think that A. Small business carry out at home.
Of course. So cottage industry, small business carried out at home. And 3, service industry, service, of course, as the name indicates.
D. Tourism, catering, plumbing.
Yeah, of course. And the last one, primary industry, of course, something that you have maybe, so because some raw materials, of course, something that you are producing, like, for example, rice, raw materials, and maybe food and such, maybe forestry, fishing, and mining. So logging industry, that is forestry, is kind of primary industry. So we have 4 industries here, heavy, cottage, service, and primary. Okay, and now, well, we're going to talk about tables and bar charts. So we discussed bar chart. Now it's not bad to maybe review and talk about tables. So as you can see, we have a table here, including year and number of mines. We're going to summarize the main points. Okay, this is our task. And what is the question? So the table gives information about the number of deep mines producing coal in the UK between 1913 and 2050. Summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features. Okay, and now we're going to talk about this table. So how to answer, how to write? Okay. Well, we have two questions. Look, what is the general trend in these figures? Which years or time periods would you focus as the most salient? Okay, now I want you to answer this question. What is the most important trend?
I think the most important trend.
Yeah, okay, very good. And so which years or maybe time periods would you focus on as the most salient? Salient means prominent, something like something really notable.
Teacher.
Yes.
But I haven't answered the first one yet.
Oh, but you said,
I just say that say that the most important trend, and then I stop.
ah, I'm sorry, I didn't get. So say, it's too hard. I can't see you, and it's too hard, okay, to focus on nothing. So,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so number one again.
Mm, we but generation.
So, general trend. Okay, so let me help you. Look, we have actually years, so nothing to do with this part here. Let's have a look at the number of minds. What can you see? You can see that actually there is a general trend. That is, we can see
Decrease.
of course, a decline, of course, in the number of minds. So this is our general trend. So we can see a decline in the number of minds. This is our general trend. And now this is the answer for the first one. And now the second one. Which years or time periods would you focus as the most salient, notable changes maybe? So what can you see? Now you need to maybe find years. You need to pay attention to the years. So tell me. You can compare them maybe 2 by 2 or 2 by 3, so it's your choice.
I think in the ten in the 20 no, what we say is 20th second. No, 20th century.
Century? You mean
Yes,
decade?
yes, decade.
Decade, because century actually includes 100 years. So we're
Yeah,
talking about something.
yes,
Decade, okay, in 20s. 20s, you mean 20s?
yes.
Okay.
How can we call it, teacher?
Okay, 20s, as you said, decade or 20s.
20 decades. 20 decades.
Just 20s, decade, no, just 20s. 20s means decade. 20s, you add S, like this.
Oh,
Okay?
yeah.
So, but here, of course, you can't use, just let me say that here you can't use 20s because, just give me your answer, then I will explain why.
I think that in the 20s, the most salient will be in 1913, but up to the 21s, the most salient will be 2003.
Okay, the first mistake, that is, of course, I know that you will change it in your writing, but there is a point here, don't forget about. First of all, don't use the same word as a question. Salient, notable, change it, synonym, paraphrase. Okay, so the first mistake. And the second one, let me explain. You know, there is a rule about task one. If you have maybe a multi-line diagram, or for example, bar chart, you have table, okay, you need to divide your information into different parts, because, for example, I can't compare all the, for example, years and trends at once. It's possible, you know, that's not possible because it makes maybe my text, my essay a bit confusing.
Yes.
So it's something like, you know, disorder, confusing. So first of all, I need to divide them into different, maybe information, different parts. If I want to compare, maybe 2 by 2, but how? How I can choose them? We have the same rule about table and bar chart, that we need to compare the closest, the similar trends, or the trends that, for example, have something like significant change. For example, let's have a look at this one, okay, and do it together. Look, 1930, 1923, 1943. Let's have a look at this tree. Let's start from the beginning, okay? We have the number of mine, okay, here, 3024 to 1690. So what can you see here? What happened here? You can see between 1930 and 1943, the number of mines almost halved. You can see this number, look, compare 3,000 to about, you know, 1,500 or 1,600. So we can consider it as, you know, the number of mines halved, but almost, not exactly, so almost halved. So this is about these three, actually, this period. So here, the first notable change. After that, okay, let's see what I have. 1963, 1983. Okay, let's check if there is. Oh, look, a significant number, you know, decrease is significant, you know, decrease, notable, and we can consider it as, you know, most of mines, a huge number, a significant number of mines, you know, we can say closed. Yeah? Yes. So we can say that maybe about, it can be about maybe 75%. So about 75%, 80%, of course, I'm not sure, I need to count it. So 70 of mines closed. So finished. And now the last period. So we have 2003 to 2015. What can you see here? Would you tell me?
I think that in the 2003, I think that almost that almost of mines have closed.
Of course. So most of, almost, most of, not almost, most of mines closed. But here you say that, teacher, I use this word closed. I don't want to repeat it again because, you know, before that I said about 75% of mines closed. So what can I say? I say, okay, it's okay. You can say very few of mines left. Yeah, they're the same. It means most of them close. Okay, so you're right. So between 2003 and 2015, very few of mine left. So as you can see, we have three notable changes here. Yeah. So I divided my information into three parts. Maybe, maybe in the other table, I can divide them into 4 or 2. So it depends on the table. Here, this way, okay? Now I have 2 questions and I need to write about this table using these answers for these questions, okay? Now, look at this one. This is a sample answer, okay, related to this table.
But teacher,
Yes.
this is task 1 or task 2?
Task 1.
Oh, task 1.
Of course. Let me say something. Table, bar chart, diagram, all the maps, they are related to task 1. Okay? Letter, essays, agree, disagree, they're different at task 2. So here, formal letter, but this one is table task 1.
And can you give me the structure of this part?
Yes, of course, of course. Let me say something. Here, I will show you just, okay, let me say here, okay. Well, there is, look here. I want to show you something. Do you remember that we discussed about conclusion in actually task 1? And we said that, okay, we don't have conclusion. But here you say that teacher, I can see a conclusion here. So what is that? Let me say, the structure, exactly the same as the other, diagrams. Introduction, main body, 2 main bodies, and we have overview. But there is a point here. Just let me put this here. Okay, and this one and this one. Just there is a point here. Introduction, main body, main, or introduction, overview, main body, and main body. So again, I have 4 paragraphs, okay? But you can do something. You can write your overview as a conclusion. Of course, you need to summarize, comparing something like comparing. Look at this one. There was a decreasing trend in mining in Britain for duration of the period shown in the chart. So this is an overview. Overall, in conclusion, overall, of course, is the better one. So we have 4 paragraphs. First of all, your introduction again. As I told you before, your introduction should be paraphrase of your question, okay?
Yeah.
And something really important, if you can see, what is this actually trend, general trend, okay? So this is your introduction. After that, you need to now your second question, something that we answered. Now you need to separate information, you divide them into different groups and discuss them in your main body, okay? And at the end, you can give your overview again. A general thing, for example, okay, so totally, actually overall, we have a decreasing trend. So something like this. The tense, present and past tenses can be used, especially, past simple and present one. Of course, for your introduction, you use present simple, and for main bodies, okay, and your overview, that is, conclusion or overview. Of course, it's overview, you need to use past and normally use past simple. So we have 2 tenses that are usable for this type of question, okay? Well, yeah. As you can see, look, now we're going to discuss them again. Do you have any questions related to this part about the structure?
Yes, I just need the structure.
You?
I just need the structure.
Okay, so you have the structure here, as you can see, main body, introduction. Okay, so what do you mean that I need an introduction?
Like in each bar what I have to do.
Okay, I explain. Now let me say again. Your introduction, let me write. Again, okay. So this is your introduction and your main body and the rest of it. Okay, now get it?
Mm, oh, yes. Okay, teacher.
Okay, so I will explain now. It will be clear when we discuss the sample answer. So just pay attention to this one. Now you know uh, the structure, okay, and you know that you need to separate your information because you have two main bodies, two paragraphs. So of course you need to separate them and discuss them. So as you can see, I have 1, 2, and 3, actually groups of information that I need to discuss. So I separate them and discuss them. Okay, well, now let's have a look at this one, dear. Okay, here we have a sample answer. And as you can see, we have marking or scoring criteria. That is task achievement, coherence and cohesion, lexical resource, and grammatical range and accuracy. So you know them. When we say task achievement, it means how will you answer the question. You need
Yeah.
to identify the key features, so everything should be discussed, every key information. And coherence and cohesion, you know that the text should be organized. And because of this, I told you that you need to divide your information and how ideas are sequenced, and connected together. Okay, lexical resource, as I told you, you need to use formal language and the range of vocabulary. That's really important. Synonyms, paraphrase, definition, grammatical range, the correct grammar. So, okay, this is table. So let me use present simple and past simple. Okay, so that's really important to use the correct grammar so that you can get a high score. So they are marking criteria. And now I want you to read this one, okay?
Yeah.
And tell me, what do you think about this sample answer? Just read it and think about it, and then tell me what you think about it.
Yes, I'm finished, teacher.
Well, tell me, what do you think? Is it good? For example, if you want to score this sample answer, what do you...
I think like
About task achievement, what do you think?
I think, but I don't remember the name of the task achievement. Can you scroll down?
Okay, you can see it means how well the question is answered. How well the question is answered. This is task
Yes,
achievement.
yes.
As you can see, we have some criteria. So tell me, what do you think?
Task achievement. I think that's it is very good.
And score it.
And score it. I think that is about maybe band 7 or 8.
Well, so let's talk about the strength of the essay. That's really important to talk about them. So the first one, as you said, the description is accurate. So we understand what the essay is about. So it's okay. And, we have some data to support the description. So it's okay. About coherence and cohesion, we can say totally it makes sense. So we can say actually they are in a logical, the sentences are in a logical order, so it's okay. About lexical resources, I think it's good, yes. Because we have some words like, for example, decline and, decrease. So
Yeah.
so we have some synonyms, so it's very good. So we have the range of vocabulary to avoid repetition, and grammar range, present simple, past simple, and past tenses are regularly actually used. That's really good. So we have some strength points. Okay, let's read this feedback from the teacher. Okay. Choose linkers from the box to replace the inappropriate highlighted. So we have obviously, nevertheless, at last, surprisingly. They are not good. You know this one. You know that this is formal language, so we don't say surprisingly. And we have some alternatives. So let's replace them. Which one you choose? You tell me.
I think that's nevertheless.
Okay, nevertheless is the what?
Um, what this mean, teacher?
What?
Like I say that nevertheless, I will choose nevertheless.
Let me say something, okay? I'm talking about weaknesses, weakness point. Of course, we discussed the strength, but how about the weakness?
Yeah.
So, yeah, let me say, nevertheless, surprisingly, as you can see, look, surprisingly, nevertheless, or for example, we have something like obviously, okay? They are used incorrectly.
Yes.
So we need to change them. Okay, so as you can see, for example, we have obviously, there's what is obviously here, there's a decline, it's not good. Or here, nevertheless, why nevertheless? Is there any contrast? So why, we have this word here. So we have something like inappropriate use of consequencer or discourse marker, so it's not good. We need to change them. Now, which one? For example, instead of obviously, what can we use?
Mm, the clear trend in the figures is that.
Of course, very good. Yeah, very good. So the clear trend in the figures is that. Nevertheless, what?
Mm, it is striking that.
Okay, so let's read it. Look. Uh, Here. The number of mines fell sharply and consistently over subsequent years. Nevertheless, in 19, we are giving an example. In 1943, there were, we have an example here. How many mines did we have in 1943? So why nevertheless? We are giving an example to support this sentence. So what can we use instead of nevertheless?
I think that
That,
uh by no for example.
of course, for example. So here I need another discourse marker because I'm making an example. And this one, surprisingly, what do you think about this one? Surprisingly.
Surprisingly, it is striking that.
Of course, yes. And at last, that is awful. At last, that is very bad. So, what? By the end of the period shown. So as you can see, actually, the purpose of having this task is to understand that you need to use formal language. You need to use discourse markers actually accurately. So that's really important how to use them. Okay. Do you have
Yep.
any questions?
Think no.
Okay, very good. Well, and there is another thing that you need to know. For example, you say, okay, teacher, we have some sample answers. So how can I use them? That's really good. You can. This is an alternative for you. So you can use them. Okay. For example, if you want to write about a table, this sample can be really useful. Just do the same thing, only you need to maybe change the data.
Yeah.
Names, years, okay, so they're really useful because we correct them and we make them better so that you can use them. Okay, now we have another actually sample answer is written by another candidate. And this one, the coherence and cohesion is much better in the first one. Find discourse markers that perform the functions listed on the next page. Look, we have these functions and we need to find discourse markers from the text. So I think you can.
Yes. From I think that. Oh,
So let's do this one together. The first one, to emphasize or exemplify an idea. Okay, so we have the answer, in fact, on one of the most striking features of this table, so it's okay. To provide an overview of the evident tendencies in the data. So what? To provide an overview. So let's find it. Overview, which one?
overview is one. There is an overview yet. There hasn't had an
So,
overview.
so again, I couldn't get.
There's no overview.
There is no overview. Okay, so let's see. You say there is no overview. I want to know what is this? There is no overview. The overall trend is clearly one of decline. So this is a very good phrase in order to begin your overview. Okay, so what do you think about this one? If it's not,
It's also the introduction.
let me say something. Sometimes you think that overview should be in another paragraph. No, no, not all the time.
Oh,
As I told you, you have word limits. You have word limits. So if I want to, for example, just look, for example, I can do this. Just finish this sentence. After that, I can begin my next paragraph using the overall trend. So you can say, okay, this is overview, no matter. You know, maybe this structure can make you a bit confused that, oh, it's not, you know, I only have 3 paragraphs, so there is overview. It's okay. Actually, this candidate combined introduction and overview in one paragraph because introduction is only one line and also the overview. So it's okay, but if you want, you can separate them. But this one, as you can see, we have an overview about the general trend. As I told you, we give the general trend in the overview. Okay, so we have it. Get it?
yes.
Very good. And let's keep going. Okay, to show a contrast. Which one?
So contrast.
Contrast. Which one? Which word?
However.
Excellent. However, you know, and the next one to introduce key time period in the data. Okay, key time period. So key time period. We have, you know, more than once. Let me help you. From the beginning, let's get started from the beginning. Here.
To give a specific example.
No, look. To introduce key time period, it means time period. How to introduce a time period. For example, look. In the 100-year period between 1930 and 2015. So we have this sentence. So if you want to, it means if you want to actually introduce a time period, you can use this sentence. And a 100-year period between 1913 and 2015. And let's find another one. Can you see something else?
In the early decades of the 20th century.
Very good. In the early, this one, another one, that's really good. And another one. This one, what do you think about this one? By the middle of century, another time expression, yeah?
Yes.
And is there any other one? How about this one? By the turn of the 21st century. So, what do you think? So, as you can see, we have some expressions that we can use in order to introduce a period of time. If it's, for example, a period between this year and this year. If it's, for example, the time by the middle of the century, or so we have different period of time and we can use these actually expressions in order to introduce them. Get it?
Yes.
Very good. Well, don't forget about using them. In your next writing, I want to see them, okay?
Yes.
Wow. And now,
But
well,
teacher,
yes, yes.
I saw that in the paragraph they use the 20th century,
Yeah.
not 20s.
Ah, century or, okay. So it's decade and century are different. Decade, 20s, but century, 100 year. So we don't say S for a century. Get it?
Ah,
So when I say, for example, in 20s, it means between, for example, 20 to 2010. Okay, so it's something like not a decade. Okay, get it?
yes.
Good. Look, in 1980s. 1980s to 1990. Get it? So this is a decade, not a century. Century includes 100 years. So it's different. Okay?
Yes.
So these two are different, century and this. Okay. Well, and now it's time to talk about bar chart. Another one. Well, we discussed bar chart and but in order to write a bar chart, an essay about bar chart, we need to answer these three questions. Okay? If we answer these three questions, we can make our essay. Okay? Look, this bar chart which shows data on the manufacture of passenger cars in 2015. We need to answer these questions. What is the most important information? Tell me about the most important information in the chart.
The most important, I think, is um, Greater China have biggest car production.
Very good. So we can say that Greater China and Europe, as I told you, divide them into different parts. Okay, as you can see, the closest one, they're the same. Yeah, so the same person, so we can consider them as the most and the highest proportion of car manufacturers. Okay, so there's something. Greater China and Europe have the highest proportion of the car manufacturer. This is the most important information, but there are another information. Okay, what now, as I told you, separates them? What else can you see?
Mm. The smallest in Middle East and or Africa.
Very good. So few cars are made in the actually Middle East and Africa. So few cars. And now you say that, okay, teacher, what about this one? I don't know what you say about, because as I told you, you need to discuss the whole information, the whole data, not only one country or two. So how about South America, North America? So how about them? Okay, you can collect them and you can say that, for example, between them, you can say countries in actually South Asia and, something like Japan and Korea produce more cars than the rest of the world together. So as you can see, these two more than the rest of the world. So you can mention, okay?
Yes.
Okay, so this is about maybe most important information. Okay, now which regions of the data would you focus on to make comparison? The closest ones. So how? Which one?
Mm. Compare Europe and Greater China,
Excellent. Very good. And
Middle East and South America.
Okay, so you say Middle East and let me check and South America. So it's okay, but I have another point. What do you think about comparing two regions of the same country? So we have America, South and North of America. So what do you think about comparing these two? Because we are talking about one country. Yeah, so it's not bad to compare North America and South America. We can compare them. For example, we can say that North America produces about, I can say about 6 times or 5 times as many cars as South America. So as you can see, the highest proportion. So you can compare. And the last thing, as you said, okay, for example, Middle East, you don't, because, for example, South America and Middle East, they're the same. So why do you need to? Why do you need both of them? Actually, you only can say, for example, okay, Middle East and Africa maybe produce something like fewer cars than South America, but it's not really important. So the first one, the highest proportion, they're important. So let's compare which one higher, which one more. And after that, if you have same regions, like same countries, different areas in same countries, it's good to compare. And of course, now you say, okay, teacher, how about the rest of it? You have main body, so you can write. Now, how would you organize your answer based on this data? Okay, how? Tell me.
I think I will say about in the overview I will talk about the highest and smallest.
Good job. Very good, of course. So you, in your overview, you talk about the general trend, the highest proportion maybe, and then you divide your information into different parts. So, okay, and you compare them 2 by 2 maybe, okay, and add. So first of all, the highest, the lowest, and comparing countries, areas, okay, and after that you have another, some summary, actually a summary of the most important points. We will discuss the sample answer together. Did you get this part? Is it clear? Yeah, can you hear me? I can't hear you. If you can hear me, I can't hear you. Hello? Hello? There is no voice, there is no picture, so I can't see you, I can't hear you. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?